Hi, I'm Todd Clint, and in this video I will show you the unboxing of this adorable little devil, the Toshiba Encore Mini. I'm going to crack it open, release it from its soft little cocoon here, and show you what it looks like when you set it up. Enjoy! They say that good things can come in small packages. And while I would agree that little memory sticks and all that kind of stuff are fun, in the computer world, sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. Today, we will find out if a good thing does come in this small package. So this box in front of you, with the very stylish swirl on it, contains a Toshiba Encore Mini, a 7-inch Windows 8.1 tablet running full Windows, not that Windows RT stuff that everybody makes fun of, but real live full Windows. It does all that in a 7-inch tablet that I purchased in October of 2014 for a mere $99. So this is a sub $100 Windows tablet. So this is an unboxing. I'm going to take it out and see what happens here. Now this is the first time I've looked at it. I have not opened the box. You're probably saying to yourself, but Todd, I see tape. It's been cut. I did that because I was ill prepared for this recording and I have to hold the camera with one hand, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to cut this one-handed. So I went ahead and cut that, but I assure you I have not opened the box yet. So let's go ahead and see what's inside here. Oh, there's a caution. What is the caution? Lithium-ion batteries do not load or transport package if damaged, could explode in your face and kill everybody in the room. It says that. It's probably kind of fuzzy in here, you can't really see, but I promise I will take all precautions, and this video will serve as my alibi for all that. So one of the things that's always been maligned about Windows things, especially in comparison to Apple things, is the presentation. And I think so far, so good. We're looking at it. It doesn't look bad. We got a thing right here immediately. Have some information if we have a problem. So we've got an 800 number and all that. And we got some things that we need to know. They hope we love our new PC. One thing about this is I did order this from the Microsoft Store, so it is a signature edition one, which means less crapware. Now this box has 1 gig of RAM and 16 gig of storage. I think there's no crapware here because there just is no place for them to put crapware. There's no RAM to run it or anything like that. So we also have a helpful Windows shortcut key thing. I'm just going to go ahead and put this right on my monitor, I think, because this is good stuff. In all seriousness, Windows 8.1 has gotten some bad press because it's tough to use, so I think having this in the box right away is a pretty good thing. Another thing that this comes with, not only for $100 do I get the actual tablet itself, but I get 1 year of Office 365 Personal. And this is cool for a couple of things. Number one, it gives me Office, so I get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Outlook for 1 year, included with the price of this. But I also get a bunch of OneDrive storage, and Skype World Minutes. So I get all that, and it's got a code here. Don't even begin to think about trying to copy that because I've got it covered up, but I'll be able to activate this. It'll be interesting. I already have an Office 365 subscription, so I'm curious how all that'll work. So here is the adorable little devil itself. 7 inches of computing fury right here. You can see it. It looks good. We'll get that out in a second. I want to see what else is in here. We've got a quick start guide. That's good. I need that. So we'll look at that. We've got some things in here. We also have cord. So this thing charges with a USB on the go connector. So I need that, and it looks like it comes with that. So that's the USB on the go. You can also use micro USB to charge it as well. I've got a couple of other devices like this, so I know how that works. So let's look at this. So sure enough, this has the USB on the go connector here. Let's get some light on that. That'll plug in, and that just plugs into a USB port. Interestingly, if you look in the nooks and crannies here, there is no actual charger. It doesn't come with a charger. I think they're expecting that you'll just plug this into your PC, which I will, or any number of a million USB wall warts I've got laying around. But it's interesting because this is one of the things that you give up when you pay $99 for a tablet. You don't get things like the 50 cents worth of wall wart and all that. So I'll go ahead and put this in here and shut this down. One last look at the very attractive box. Intel inside, thank you. This does have an Intel Atom processor, which is kind of this generation's Celeron. So there's some things in here that I should read. I probably won't because I'm just too darn excited. I want to get this this little fellow open, see what it can do. I don't recommend trying to do these unboxings with one hand. In fact, I have to set the camera down for a second. Out a bunch of stuff. I had to pull that sticker off there. It made a horrible sound. It sounded like bunnies and kittens screaming is what that sound sounded like. But anyway, that gets me where I can get the box open. So here is the tablet. Let's get this bag out of the way. And as much as you may feel compelled to do so, don't put that bag over your head. It is a choking hazard. Okay, so we've got the tablet here. It looks pretty good. You can see my reflection in it. I am a handsome devil, to be sure. Looking at it, we look around the edges. We've got a speaker here. That's good. We look up the side. We've got a power button right there. On the top here, we've got a headphone jack. We've got a volume up and down. We've got a microphone jack. We've got a micro SD card jack, and the aforementioned USB on-the-go jack as well. Nothing down this side. Now you might notice that something is missing. There is not a Windows key on this device. So when you're using Windows 8 and 8.1, using the Windows key is pretty important. This device doesn't have one. Now, it's not the end of the world. You can still do all your Windowsy things, but you just need to know that you have to swipe from the right side to get the charms bar, and that gives you the Windows key. So let's go ahead and power this thing up and see what happens. I'm going to hit the power button here. Hopefully it came with enough charge to do something out of the box. So here we go. Toshiba lets me know their leading innovation here. That's good. I was always curious who was leading innovation. Turns out it's been Toshiba the whole time. I have no idea. So it's coming up now. Again, the specs on this box. It's got an Intel Atom processor of some variety, Z64X, or is that the muffler bracket on a 79 Pinot? I can't remember. But anyway, it's got an Atom processor of some sort. It has 1 gig of RAM and 16 gig of built-in storage. So that's interesting. We don't think of 1 gig of RAM as being a lot of RAM, and it's really not. But Windows 8.1 and Windows 10, the next version of the Windows operating system, do support 1 gig of RAM on 32-bit devices, which this is. So it is a supported amount of RAM. The other interesting thing about that is the requirement for 1 gig of RAM is the exact same requirement for RAM that Windows Vista had. And Windows Vista came out 7 years ago. So this device and this operating system has the same hardware that Windows had 7 years ago, and it works. So that's pretty good on Microsoft's part. That says a lot about how well they're handling resources. So I'm going to go ahead and take all this in English because it is the only language that I speak. I am in the Lord's time zone here, GMT -6 or -5 in the summer. Central time in the US. We'll go ahead and hit next. It's doing some whirring. Again, we're getting some great glare off the screen. License agreements. So let's go ahead and read this out loud. No, I'm kidding. No, the important thing about this is this comes with a version of Windows called Windows 8.1 with Bing. So there's a couple of significant things about that. Microsoft has agreed to license Windows 8.1 with Bing for free to devices, small devices that meet certain characteristics. So there are size requirements, there are price requirements, things like that. Certainly a 7-inch tablet that costs $99 meets all of those requirements. What this means for us as a customer is that when a OEM puts Windows 8.1 with Bing on a device, they cannot change the default search engine. It has to actually have Bing. So that's one of the things that OEMs have done in the past. Companies, like Alta Vista or whatever, AOL, have paid OEMs to change settings like search engines, and then they pass the savings on to, no, that just goes right into the CEO's pocket. But anyway, Microsoft is saying, we will give you the OS for free on the condition that you don't change the search engine, and we get all those beautiful Bing links with that. So now, as a customer, I can change the search engine as soon as I want to, but it's just that the OEM is not available to do it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We will use Windows 8.1 with Bing. So this is interesting because the Windows 8.1 of the Bing is a lower down version. So again, it's an x86 version, but you can't do things like join it to a domain, things like that. I'm going to skip this. I will come back to this later. I don't want to put all this information on here. Plus, I just don't want to type it. And so now it's just kind of going through the basics. So it's going to let me pick colors and names and all that kind of stuff. I will call this adorable little device Encore, as it's an Encore Mini. I like the blue. I might like a little darker blue, maybe a little lavender. I like that one. Kind of spruces the place up, kind of brings the room together. Okay, so here are all the wireless access points in my house. I will choose that one. Need to put the network key in. I'm going to go ahead and blur this out so that nobody drives past my house and hooks up to my wireless. The interesting thing is you can't tell because I blurred it out, but it shows you the key, the wireless key in plain text. So that's good when you're using these virtual keyboards and you can't see stuff. This allows you to see it when you're typing it, so you don't screw it up. So it didn't like. Oh, I forgot one of the words on my keys. So when I typed my my key and I put the wrong key in. Verifying connecting. Okay. So here we get the express settings or the custom settings. I'm just going to use custom, but this is things like how you attach the wireless, don't track you in Internet Explorer, use Bing, do the thing where you submit stuff to Microsoft so they can improve search, that kind of stuff. I'm going to leave all that. I'm just going to use the express settings. Next, it's going to set up my account. It was nice. It already filled in my email address, which is someone@example.com, so I appreciate that. Actually, I will put in my Hotmail account. Again, I will. I'm fuzzing out that just because I don't want anybody emailing me there, not because it's any kind of a secret. But I don't need you jokers signing me up for any Tiger Beat magazine subscriptions or anything like that. I get enough of that. Alright, signing me in to my Microsoft account. Now I've got a bunch of devices that use all this, so in theory when this comes back it's going to tell me it's going to send a text message to my phone to verify that I am who I say I am. So we'll see if that happens as expected. And much like my network key, I mistyped my password. Or my Hotmail account. I'm actually doing this on purpose just to see how they handle that. So here they're asking about this. They're saying, hey, we want to make sure this is really you, and we're going to text you. You can also do some stuff with email, but I'm going to have them text me because I'm hip like that. So type the last four of my phone number in. My phone should go off here in a minute. There it is. Alright, we'll grab my Windows phone here and see what my security code is. So they have sent me a 7-digit security code that I will type in right now. I will not blank this one out because you won't be able to use it for anything else, so I'm not worried about you hijacking my account. Okay, so this is saying you've already got some devices out there that are running Windows 8.1. Do you want us to just pull your settings over from another PC or not? And so it has picked the device of mine that is most like this. I have a Dell Venue 8 Pro, which is an 8-inch Windows device. And it's saying, do you want me to pull those over or set this up as a new PC? Or I also have the option to show all my PCs. Now I assume it's not showing them all because I've got some laptops and stuff in there, and it's just probably not going to want to set things up the same way. It's going to assume some things are touch and some things are not, and and all that. I'm gonna pick my existing one. I think I've got, you know, the live tiles and all that kind of stuff set up the way that I want. So it's just gonna pull that down. That's all saved in OneDrive, and it's just gonna pull all those settings down. And I'm not gonna have to set anything up, which is gonna be nice. It's gonna have, you know, all like my Xbox Music playlists and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna have my weather, hopefully my email accounts and all that set up. Now it's being very friendly. It's saying hi. Hi. It's setting things up for me. That's very nice of it. I appreciate that. I can get new apps from the store. Good. Right now it's showing me all the color gradients of green that it can produce. So that's good. Always helpful. Now blue. Violet. I don't even know what that color was. Now again, remember that this is a box with 1 gig of RAM and 16 gig of storage. So I'm curious to see how much storage I have left. It's not going to, I don't believe it downloads my Metro apps, modern apps, whatever you want to call them, but it will put their shortcuts on the start screen. So the first time I try to run them, it'll download them for me. So they shouldn't add much storage footprint. Taking care of a few things, hopefully, you know, computer-related things. They're not out offing anybody, anything like that. It does say installing your apps, so we'll see which apps it installs. So far, it doesn't seem like a bad little device. Again, I haven't used it for anything, but I don't know. It didn't feel horribly heavy. The white bezel or the white case is a little weird. All of my other devices, my tablets and stuff, are black, so they're just black all the way around. So having a black bezel and a white outside is a little different than I'm used to, but not horrible. I honestly don't know what I'm going to use this for. I don't imagine I'm going to hook it up to a dock and drive a couple of 40-inch monitors with it, and you know, be doing Photoshop and video rendering and all that. But I'm guessing the 16 gig of storage, and then I'll end up sticking a micro SD card in there to save any kind of media. You know, okay, if I want to use this for watching movies or, you know, listening to ocean sounds, help me go to sleep, that kind of stuff. Now it's cautioning me not to turn off my PC. That's always a good sign. It means it's doing important stuff. Not long now. I can feel the anticipation. We've cycled through almost all of the colors. We're back to that one that I don't know. Another interesting thing about this is the screen. While it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look as good as some of my other ones, and it seems to attract fingerprints a lot. Let's start. Let's do. I'm all for it. Okay. So this is pretty cool. This is my start screen as I have it on my other tablet. It's already got me signed in to you know, OneDrive and all that up here. It's got, it looks like the backgrounds are right. It's got everything there. It's got the Dell shopping shortcut for my Dell tablet. That's good. So one of the things that I wanted to know about was how much storage space it had left. So we can tell by going to this PC. So it thinks it has 10.6 gig of storage total, and it says it's got 5.46 of that free, which is interesting. So we just got a regular C drive there, nothing fancy. Now, one of the things that I'm curious about is whether they're using a thing called WimBoot. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hold down the start button, and there we go. I said hold down the start button. It's my first time with Windows 8. So what I'm trying to do is hold down the start button and bring up the disk management. Now this shows one of the pain points of these small devices. The desktop is here and all the desktop tools are here, but they're not very easy to use. So that's what we're seeing here. Also, the touch sensitivity doesn't seem to be real great. There we go. Okay, so a couple of things here. We've got a drive here, and you can see from the side it shows up as 14.4 gigabytes. So that seems like 16 gig without some overhead. with the overhead removed. I've got 10 gigabytes of an NTFS partition here, which it's got BitLocker encrypted, which is good. BitLocker is a thing that encrypts my drive, so that way if I lose it, somebody can't take this, pop it open, and get my storage off of it. And then we've got a recovery partition at the end that is 3.61 gig. So one of the first things that I will do, when I ordered this, I also ordered a USB drive. And so after I get done poking around here, I'm going to pop this USB drive in, and I'm going to make a copy of that recovery partition and then store this in a safe, undisclosed location. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, but it's somewhere near Jimmy Hoffa's remains. But then if I choose to down the road, if I need that extra storage, I can delete that partition and increase my Windows partition by 3.61 gigabytes. But then have the ability to recover this if I ever need to. Another thing about that C drive, not only is it using BitLocker and it's encrypted, it's also using a thing called WimBoot, and that's kind of what I thought that it would do. And WimBoot is this new thing that Microsoft came out with in Windows 8.1, and it's the ability to boot Windows off of a compressed file, a WIM file, a Windows image file. And so the Windows OS and all those static files are in this WIM file that's compressed, and then any changes that we made are written outside of that. So it takes a little bit more RAM because it has to decompress these things, but it lets you have much, much smaller drives. So that's why Windows 10 and Windows 8.1 can support 16 gig drives, because it's compressed all of the OS. So let's open up the Task Manager here and look and see how things are running. Now again, there's nothing going on this box. I haven't fired anything up besides this disk management tool. And I think this touchscreen needs a little calibration. It's not going exactly the way I want. So I'm going to go over to the Performance tab, kind of see. So we can see the CPU's doing a bunch of stuff. That's not surprising because we all know the post setup things, searchers running and all that. And we do have 4 cores inside of here. I always like seeing that. Looks like they're running at 1.5 gigahertz, and I don't know if that's full speed. It says maximum speed 1.33, but current speed is 1.5. So clearly those numbers don't mean exactly what I think they mean. What we can see over here for memory, we have 948 meg available, and it's using 750 meg. But again, there's a lot of stuff going on. With my other tablets that have 2 gig of RAM, I've noticed that Windows tries to keep it around half full, so it uses about 1 gig of RAM. So we'll see how this one levels out. The other thing that makes me think there's a lot of stuff going on is we can see my disk percentage usage right here is all over the place. So that tells me search is running or something and indexing this. But once that disk dies down, hopefully the CPU and the RAM will die down too. But it's also interesting that you can see from this device, because it's got this built-in RAM storage, that's even, the connection speed is even faster than an SSD because it's just soldered right onto the motherboard. It's pretty fast. So we're not, right now the disk is not the bottleneck. It's, maybe the CPU, maybe the RAM, all that. So that is my first impression of this. After I play with this little board, I'll make some more videos. So if you get one of these things, let me know how it is, and I'll be curious to hear what your experiences are.